What's going on, YouTube? Just wanted to drop off a video real quick. I'm gonna be talking about gang stalking, as you can see what the title is, gang stalking and false victimhoods. Now, what I mean by false victimhoods is we all know how the program operate. Basically, it's like everything's inverted. It takes the heroes, turn them into villains, and take the villains and turn them into heroes. If you understand what I mean, for instance, like some of the things we may see on the news or in the news article or social media, whereas there's a victim of a crime or alleged crime or however it may be, and really that person was never the victim. Say, for instance, like in a targeted individual scenario, whereas in Maryland, it was a guy who was posting signs in his yards saying how his neighbors was entering his home, how they was trying to set him up, how they was working for the FBI, so on and so forth. This guy ended up snapping and killing the neighbors who were participating in this, and he ended up meeting his demise or getting locked up, something like that, right? So basically what I'm saying is, to the people who's targeted in this program, they actually turn the heroes into villains, like in a literal sense. You can be someone with, I mean, no matter what background you come from. For instance, it's this couple, an old couple. I forgot which state they were living in, but anyway, this old couple went to go purchase some land, right? And the fire chief of this town was telling him not to purchase the land because it belonged to his family, or it was in his family. He didn't have the money for it. Anyway, the couple proceeded to bid for the property, and the fire chief had them gang stalk. So now this old couple who did nothing wrong is all of a sudden the villains. They're the bad guys. They're being attacked as if though they're the problem and they're not the hero in a sense in this situation. So what I mean by having them gangster, I mean the whole 9 yards. I'm gonna do a video on that article as well. So when it all started, they had the whole town and community riding past this old couple house, the couple that purchased the land, and they were just honking the horn all. I'm talking about all throughout the day in the wee hours of the morning, and all you had bus drivers, you had post service, you had young college students, you had police. I mean, it just went on and on. The neighbors was involved. This couple ended up installing cameras around their house, even hid them near the sidewalk of their house inside bushes and things. And what they did was start recording and going through all the footage and taking down these license plates and taking these individuals to court to sue them allegedly. I mean, well, to sue them for harassment. Anyway, they tried to end up suing the state, and the courts basically shot down their civil suit against the state that they live in. I guess under the pretense that it's all compartmentalized, whereas the system is involved in it. So yeah, basically they just taken the heroes, the do-gooders, the people with a conscience, the people with a moral compass, and they despise people with these traits. They're literally targeting people in society with these traits. Whereas, say for instance, if we know how they like to start stage car accidents. Now, they have people specifically on the road trying to force us into car accidents. Those people are actually the villains. Those people are not the type that's gonna stop their vehicle and assist with a car accident that they had nothing to do with. But in a sense, they would cause a car accident and leave you for dead, and they would still make it your fault, as in the accident was in regards or because of something that you did. So I kind of, I don't know. I just find the program pretty weird, because that's just like how some people say that all cops aren't bad cops and things like that. Now, that may be true in a sense, but what I do believe that I believe that they're being groomed. So you could go into a police department with intentions on helping fighting crime and, getting bad guys off the street, but little by little, the officers that's in the know is going to be doing things, grooming you to sway your free will in a sense. It's like a good versus evil thing, God versus the devil, to fight for souls and things like that. So you could start off a good cop, but slowly but surely you might get paired with a partner who don't conduct themselves the way that a lawful officer should, meaning that they might do excessive force when they're locking up a suspect and things like that, plant drugs on them and things like that. But as a police coming in, you're taught that it's a brotherhood and you don't go against the brotherhood, and they try to make you feel bad if you do, or this might happen to you, or they might not show up on a violent scene in time to have your back, or whatever the situation may be. But in a sense, that's why I say most officers are complicit, and the ones who's not, they're vulnerable to grooming, or them too can have the roles inverted. So we have a cop who actually joined the force, who wanted to do good, but being that he didn't go with the grooming, or he spoke out, they see that he wasn't with the cause, or whatever, or what have you. Now this good cop is now persecuted as well, like a targeted individual, as if they're the bad guy. It's just weird how this program, or these demonic forces and people, have everything so inverted in the world, to the point where good is bad, bad is good, up is down, left is right, so forth and so on. It's just weird because literally they turn villains into martyrs when really it's the complete opposite way around. But it's so clever because when you do something like that, say for instance, if a targeted individual was to kill someone that was involved with their targeting, then how the media is going to portray it as if the targeted individual was the bad guy, when in all actuality, it's the it's the alleged victims of the targeted individual who were actually the bad guys. But they play on people emotions and feelings. This when the psychology kick in. So if it was an old couple that was participating in gang stalking, and the target snapped and harmed the old couple, then to the world it's like the targeted individual is a monster because he harmed this old couple. But with the society, or the people who's unaware that the program exists, fail to realize is these old people are not innocent by far. Now, whether you want to say it's demonic, or whether you want to say they're just plain out evil, or just green to the fact on what they're doing, but you have these people, these fake do-gooders in society, who's fleshing out dissidents, people with a moral compass, and flipping the script on them and painting them out to be the bad guy. So it's like sooner or later, with all the programming that we see going on in the world, it's like a imbalanced scale, and right now it's tipping more towards evil. So, say for instance, if the world started out 50% good, 50% evil, which each passing day is tilting more to evil. So, right now, just throwing out hypothetical numbers, not actual facts, nothing based off statistics. I'm just saying, this how it works. So instead of it being 50-50 now, and the fight for souls, now it's 80% bad. The world is 80% bad with 20% good. So it's like, when will it ever stop? Will it stop? Or, will humanity catch on in time enough to see what's going on? Or is it written in the stars or the book that evil will prevail? It's just weird. It was just something that I was thinking of, and it's kind of crazy how they do that, because I'm pretty sure people who's going to college and who's they think are chasing their dreams and things like this, and they want to become part of a fraternity or sorority. I'm pretty sure it's so many people who's chasing their dreams and want to be a part of a fraternity or sorority, not realizing that they're just one step closer of being groomed into a secret society who really represents Luciferian or Satanism. So when your third eye, or when you're aware and woke of the reality of this world, you're actually witnessing the spiritual warfare going on. And what I mean by that is we're actually witnessing the fight for souls. We're witnessing it like in real time. And it's I just find it very fascinating how they invert things like that and are able to make the heroes villains and make the villains heroes. It's quite ironic when you actually think about it. So yeah, that's my little quick rant. Just wanted to get up here and talk about the whole analogy from the heroes to villains and villains to heroes.